हेलो किड्स, आई एम छवि और मैं लेके आई हूँ आज आपके लिए 2024 नीट का पेपर एंड उसका एनालिसिस. आई नो द पेपर held on 5th May and it's been 2 to 3 days since then. It's a bit late, but I was tracking down all the questions if the questions are taken from the NCERT or not. And to be your surprise, at least for zoology part, all the questions, even one single statement, every statement was taken from the NCERT booklet. Even you'll be really surprised to know there are few questions, their answers lie in the summary of the chapter. Amazing, right? So this took me a bit of the time, but I hope this analysis of the Neet zoology part will help you a lot. Okay, so before we start, I want to tell you that today we are going to discuss all the 50 questions of zoology which were there in Neet 2024 paper. Okay, we will also see how they are linked from the NCERT, from which part of the NCERT these questions are taken. Right? Okay, just give me a second. Let me connect. One second. Yes. So I hope you guys are able to see my screen. So basically, in this video today, we are going to deal with zoology only. So before we go ahead, let's see the chapters that are covered in the zoology. So from grade 11, we had these chapters: animal kingdom, structural organization in animals. In structural organization in animals, we have tissue, cockroach, earthworm, and frog. Cell, the components of the cell, biomolecules, in which we have dealt with glucose, carbohydrates, proteins, vitamins, and all that. Then cell cycle and cell division, digestion, respiration, circulation, excretion, locomotion. And then there are these two chapters: neural control and coordination and chemical control and coordination. So these were the chapters that were involved in the zoology test paper formation for NEET 2024. And from the grade 12, obviously reproduction in humans and reproductive health, principle of inheritance and variation, molecular basis of inheritance, evolution, human health and disease, microbes in human welfare, and biotechnology, both the principle as well as the application. So these were the chapters which were mostly present in the paper. And at the end of the discussion, I will also show how many questions and what are the question numbers that are exactly from the NEET paper. Okay. So let's begin with our first question. So the first question here is, we got the match the following. Okay. In the match the following, we have the options typhoid. We have the options typhoid, leishmaniasis, ringworm, and filariasis. And we have to tell what type of the causative agent it is. So I have taken a screenshot from NCERT which says Salmonella typhi is a bacterium which causes typhoid, right? So for typhoid, I can say it's bacteria. Let's look up for the options A4. There is only one option, fourth option, A4. So see, this is so easy. If you know only one option also, you can tell the correct answer here, right? But let's check and see if the other options matches or not as well. Wucheria bancrofti. It's a nematode which causes filariasis. So option D should be 2. Yes, this is also correct. Next, many fungi belonging to the group Microsporum, Trichophyton, and Epidermophyton are responsible for ringworms. Means ringworm is done by a fungus. So option C should be 1, right? So all these analysis, all these information that I got from NCERT gives us that the correct answer is option 4, where typhoid is caused by bacteria, and leishmaniasis is caused by a protozoa parasite, and then ringworm is caused by a nematode, and the filariasis is caused by a fungus. Is it clear? See, you do not have to go. See, in the paper, you not always have to check all the options. I know it is necessary to check, but if you see, all the options have different answers, right? When all the options have different answers, it means even if you know what the one option, you can easily attempt the question. Clear? So this is really important. Let's go to the next question. So the next question is from reproductive health. In reproductive health, we have done so many IUDs. IUDs means intrauterine devices. These devices are implanted inside the uterus that will prevent the fertilization, but sorry, not fertilization, that will prevent the implantation. So there's a paragraph that is given in NCERT that says, another effective popular method is intrauterine devices. These devices are inserted by the doctors and expert help in the uterus through vagina. Right? These devices are presently available as non-medicated IUDs. Means these devices does not contain any medication or any specific ions that will help in contraception. For example, lips loop. Okay. So for lipase loop, non-medicated IUD, for A, option 3 is correct. Right? So if we see, there are two options, option 2 and option 3, which is correct for non-medicated IUDs accordingly. Next, copper releasing IUDs. Copper releasing IUDs are the ones that release copper ions. Right? These copper ions, what are they going to do? They will increase the phagocytosis as well, and they will also prevent the fertilization. Now, for copper releasing IUDs, we have example of multilode 374, 375, copper T and copper 7. So means for B, option 1 is correct. Still, both options stand correct. Fine. Next, hormone releasing IUDs means progesterate LNG20. We have LNG20 means for C, option 4 is correct. And implants. For implants, we have hormone progestogens. Okay. So our answer for this option is option 2. Clear? So see, if you see, the complete question is from one single paragraph of NCERT. So if you are thorough with NCERT, you know the steps, you know the sentences given in the NCERT, I think you are good to go. Right? Let's go to the next question. Sorry. So the next question is, again, this is from human reproduction. The question is, the presence of or absence of hymen is not a reliable indicator of virginity. Now, you guys will remember hymen is a membrane that is covering the vagina, right? Now, initially in like olden days, it was considered as an indicator of virginity, like because after sexual intercourse, the hymen will break. So if hymen is intact, it means the female is virgin. But this is not true. Why? Let's see. So the hymen is often torn during the first coitus. True. However, it can also be broken down by a sudden fall, jolt, insertion of vaginal tampon, active participation in sports like horseback riding, cycling, etc. In some women, the hymen persists even after first coitus. In fact, therefore, the presence or absence of hymen is not a reliable indicator of virginity or sexual experience. It means statement 1 is correct, right? Let's read the statement 2. The hymen is torn during the first intercourse only. It's not only, it is often torn, but it's not the only reason by which the hymen can be torn or broken down, right? So it means statement 1 is correct, but statement 2 is incorrect. Therefore, our answer would be option 1. The statement 1 is true, but statement 2 is false. Clear? Let's go to the next question. Now, the question says, in both sexes of cockroach, a pair of jointed filamentous structure called anal cerci are present. Right. So we know there are two things that are present, anal style and anal cerci. Right. But anal style is present in males only, whereas anal cerci is present in both male and female. Let's read. In both sexes, the 10th segment bears a pair of jointed filamentous structure called as anal cerci. So basically, the 10th segment of the cockroach will contain anal cerci both in male and female. So our correct answer is option number 4. This is also the exact line taken from the NCERT. Clear? Next question. Match the following. We have this question from neural control and coordination, where we given with the 4 different parts of the brain and we have to match the function of it. Fine. So first is pons. Let's see. The answer, this is actually, the screenshot is taken from the summary of the chapter. Can you believe the summary of the chapter gives the answer of the NEET level questions? So directly NCRT, everything from NCRT. Fine. Let's see. The hindbrain comprises of pons, cerebellum, and medulla, right? The cerebellum integrates information received from semicircular canals of ear and auditory system. So for cerebellum, uh, it receives the information from semicircular canals of ear and auditory system. So cerebellum also connects the posture and it provides the balance as well. If you remember the NEET chapter, you would see there the balancing was basically done by the cerebellum, right? The medulla contains centers which control respiration and cardio reflexes. So for medulla, it's respiration and cardio reflexes means for C, it is 2. So now for D, it is 1, and for C, it is 2. Let's see if any option is there. It's there. Then, pons consist of fiber threads that interconnect different regions of brain. So, interconnects different regions of brain. Fine. So, for A, it is 3. Fine. And then obviously, if everything matches, then option 4 is correct. It means hypothalamus is have neurosecretory cells. That is quite obvious because hypothalamus releases its hormone for pituitary glands. So that's why hypothalamus has neurosecretory cells. See, this complete question can be solved if you even have read the summary of the NCRT. Clear? Let's go to the next question. Which of the following is not a steroid hormone? Progesterone, cortisol, and testosterone. All the three of them are steroid hormones, whereas glucagon is a peptide hormone. So if you know that glucagon is a peptide hormone, you know the answer directly to this question, that glucagon is a non-steroid hormone. Yeah? Okay. Next question. Which one is correct product of DNA-dependent RNA polymerase to the given template? Before I solve this question, let's read the lines that are given in NCRT. Okay. So, since two strands have opposite polarity and DNA-dependent RNA polymerase also catalyze the polymerization in only one direction, that is 5' to 3, means the strand that has polarity 3' to 5' act as a template, which is given to us. Fine. Next. The other strand, which has polarity 5' to 3' and the sequence same as RNA, means the RNA polymerase, the DNA-dependent RNA polymerase will be forming an RNA strand, right? Which will be same as the 5' to 3' sequence, except thymine is replaced by uracil. So, first thing, it has to be first thing, it has to be 5' to 3'. All the options have 5' to 3'. Fine. Second, it has to have the uracil instead of thymine. So let's remove the options that has T in it. So option 2 will be removed. Fine. Now, what we have to do, we have to just do the normal base pairing. For T, it should be A. For A, it should be U. For C, it should be G. For A, it should be U. Fine. Then for double G, it should be double C. This is fine. This is fine. Option 4 eliminates because it says triple A here, but it should be A double C. Now for G, it should be, for C, it should be G. G is there, G is there, right? Then there are triple A, for triple A, triple U should be there. That's there. Then for T, sorry, then for T, yeah, then for T, we should have A. See here, this sequence is wrong because T is replaced by U in RNA, but here we are doing the base pairing. For T, it should be A present, not the U. So this gives us the correct option, which is option 1. Option 1 is our correct answer. Okay. So what are the rules? First, the sequence should be from 5 dash to 3 dash first. Second, T should be replaced by U in the RNA strand. Means if I do the base pairing of this sequence and if I make it in the form of ACGT, then that sequence is correct. It's just that you have to replace the T with U. So these are the methods by which you can eliminate the options. Okay. You need not to always solve the complete. I need not to go till the end, right? I know the difference. So first, if the T is present, then it's not an option. It's not a correct option. Always eliminate it. Clear? Let's go to the next question. This is quite easy question. We can directly do from the diagrams that are given in NCERT. So the question is, 3 types of muscles are given here, A, B, and C. Identify the correct matching pair along with their location in human body. So the first type of muscle that is given is skeletal muscle or voluntary muscles. The second type is involuntary or non-striated. And the third is cardiac muscle. Okay, these are the only 3 type of muscle. And how did I identify these? According on the basis of shape, the striations and structure, we can identify very easily. So there are alternate light and dark band in the first one. They are multinucleated if you see very closely to it. So these are skeletal muscles. The non-skeletal muscles or the striated ones, non-striated or involuntary muscles, they have tapering ends, right? And they do not have any branching as well, and they are uninucleated. So that makes the B as smooth, involuntary, non-striated muscles. And the third one is it has striations, but it has H-shaped branching also that is only present in our heart. So it is cardiac muscle. So let's see the option. Need not to match the other parts also. Let's see the current sequence. Skeletal, involuntary, smooth. Smooth is the other name of involuntary muscles. Involuntary, skeletal, cardiac. No. Smooth, skeletal, cardiac. No. So the option 4 is the correct answer, which is skeletal, smooth, and cardiac. And after that, you can match the cardiac muscles are present in heart, smooth muscles, involuntary muscles are present in stomach, because we are not going to control the digestion part or the contraction of our stomach with our will, right? So it is involuntary, and our triceps are under our control. So it comes as skeletal or voluntary muscles. Clear? Let's go to the next question. Oh, very easy question. So you have to find out the sequence of the stages in the cell division. So never, never, never cram this. Okay. The easiest way is to remember if there is a marriage in house, what happens? The long duration is taken in preparation and the final marriage takes place in 1 or 2 days, right? So our final marriage means cell division. So cell division will take place shortly and the preparation will take place before. So remember, cell division, cell cycle and cell division has 2 major parts: karyokinesis and cytokinesis. How? If I draw a normal cell with just 3 basic components: nucleus, cytoplasm, and cell. Now, what if I have to divide this into 2? What I have to do? First, I have to replicate it, right? I have to double it so that whatever the resultant I'll get is same as the parent cell, right? So first, the duplication of nucleus will be done, then division of the nucleus will be done, then division of cytoplasm will be done, right? So karyokinesis is division of nucleus. Cytokinesis is division of cytoplasm. Right? Now, so we are clear that cytokinesis has to be the last step. Correct? Now, in karyokinesis, again, there are 2 phases. First is preparatory phase or interphase. Second is dividing phase or M phase. Okay? So in interphase, we have 3 stages: G1, S, and G2. G1 is gap 1, S is synthesis phase, and G2 is gap 2 phase. Gap 1 is the gap between the previous cell cycle, the dividing phase, and new cell cycle, the synthesis phase. In synthesis phase, duplication of DNA is done, and even the centriole is also duplicated. In G2, proteins which are required for the cell division is synthesized, and then cell enters into the actually dividing phase. So what should be the sequence? Gap 1 phase, right? Then it will synthesize, gap 2 phase. So it should be E, then C, right? Then gap2 phase, then option A, then karyokinesis, also called as division of the nucleus. So D, and then cytokinesis B. Okay. The option that has this thing is ECADD, option 2, right? The other way to know is we knew the cytokinesis has to be the last option. So the option B, which has the last option, could all be the correct answer. So either 2 or 3 could be the correct answer. And then if you know the first stage of cell cycle, you can easily identify which is the correct option. Fine. This is the very easy question, very basic question that came from the cell cycle and cell division. Clear? We'll go to the next question. Now, the question is about autoimmune disorder. What is autoimmune disorder? See, if you see, our body is quite able to identify what is self and what is foreign, right? But sometimes our body gets confused due to some reasons and it starts attacking its own cell. In that case, the disease or the damage that occurs to the body is called as autoimmune disorder. Fine. So now see, if you see here, the autoimmune disorder is, the example given is rheumatoid arthritis. Then if you see the other examples, myasthenia gravis is also an autoimmune disorder. It means option A and option B are correct, right? Let's see in the list. So options 3 and option 4 can be the correct answer. Now let's see the D option, muscular dystrophy. Muscular dystrophy is progressive degeneration of skeletal muscle, mostly due to the genetic disorder. So it's not an autoimmune disorder, this is a genetic disorder. So option 3 is not possible. Our correct option is option 4. It means AB, myasthenia gravis, rheumatoid arthritis, and systemic lupus erythematosus is the three diseases which are autoimmune disorders. Clear? This is also taken from NCERT. Fine. Let's go to the next question. Okay, this is again a very easy question. Though the screenshot that I have taken is from the digestive system, but this can easily be done if you know the very basic concepts of biomolecules also. Okay, let's see. Lipase. ACE means enzyme. Lipase means lipid digesting enzyme. Okay, so lipid has what type of bond? It has ester bond between glycerol and the fatty acids, right? So lipase is going to digest the ester bond. It means for A, option 2 is there. Fine. Now, let's see. So if you see option A is there, option A with 2 is the correct answer. If you see, it means according to this, our option 1 is correct. You need not to even see the other options. But for understanding, let's understand. Nuclease, digesting nucleic acid. What is the bond between nucleic acid? Phosphodiester bond, right? There is a phosphate group that attaches two nucleotide units through an ester linkage. That's why it's called as phosphodiester bond, right? So for B, it's 4. This is also correct. Protease, it digests protein. Protein has what? It has peptide bond. So for C, option 1 should be there, right? And for D, amylase. Amylase digests carbohydrate. In carbohydrates, the bond that is present is peptide bond. Glycosidic bond, right? So amylase is the enzyme that is going to digest the starch and convert into maltose. And this breaking down of starch into maltose is due to the breaking of glycosidic bond. Okay, so this is the analysis from the biomolecule point of view. But if you know the digestive system also, you can be easily doing it. How? See, you remember salivary amylase that is present in our mouth helps in the digestion of starch into maltose. 30% of the starch is digested in our mouth and converted to maltose, right? So the salivary enzyme is the responsible. So amylase digest glycosidic bond. Glycosidic bond is present in carbohydrates. So if you know that also, you are very easy to know the answer. If you know only any one of the options also, you can easily go for the answer. Clear? Any doubt? You can have a read in from the NCERT as well. This is from the digestive system where it is written that amylase is going to digest the polysaccharide. Polysaccharide means the carbohydrates, right? Carbohydrate has glycosidic linkage. Fats are digested by lipases. Lipases means lipids, and lipids have what? Fats or lipids have what? Ester linkage. Nucleic acid is digested by nucleases, which has phosphodiester linkage. Okay, so it's very, very easy to do such type of questions. Only if you know the basics, you can easily do these type of questions. Clear? Let's go to the next question. The flippers of penguins and dolphins are the example of convergent, divergent, adaptive, and natural selection. See, what is convergent evolution? Convergent evolution means you have different structures, but they are performing the similar function. Means you have grown differently. Like these are analogous structure. Means they do not have the same structure, but they are performing the same function, which shows the convergent evolution. Or other is divergent evolution, where what is happening where the same structure but different function is there. So even if the structure is same, you are performing different function. Adaptive radiation, same species is given rise to multiple species, right? And natural selection, a trait that is selected by the nature. But the example, the flippers of penguins and dolphins are the example of convergent evolution or analogous structure. See, the read from NCERT, analogous structures are result of convergent evolution, different structures evolving from the same for the same function, and hence similarity. Often examples are analogy are the eye of the octopus and the mammals, or the flippers of penguins and dolphin. Okay, so our answer is option 1, that is convergent evolution. Clear? Next question. This question is from respiratory system or breathing and exchange of gases, as the name in NCERT. This part has always been very important, and this is always confusing to the kids. Okay, always remember there are two type of things. First, we are given with volumes, and the others is capacities. Volumes are individual terms. Capacities is combination of different individual terms. Fine. Now, expiratory capacity means imagine how much you can expire. So when you are normally breathing, you expire normally, right? So that normal breathe out is called as tidal volume. So expiratory capacity for sure will have tidal volume. Plus, if you are doing forceful expiration, means what are you exhaling? You are exhaling tidal volume plus expiratory reserve volume, which you generally do when you are doing forceful expiration. So what is expiratory capacity? Tidal volume plus expiratory reserve volume. Let's see. So option expiratory reserve volume is eta 1. If you see that option 2 is correct. But let's check the other ones also. Same way, inspiratory capacity. As the expiratory capacity, we have inspiratory capacity also. So in inspiratory capacity, we have to do tidal volume plus inspiratory reserve volume. What is the option here? Tidal volume. Sorry, I matched the wrong one. Expiratory capacity has tidal volume plus expiratory reserve volume, right? Option 2. So for A, it's option 2. For D, it's tidal volume plus inspiratory reserve volume, option 3, right? And then we have vital capacity. What is vital capacity? The maximum volume of air a person can breathe in after a forced expiration. Means you have forcefully removed the, what is it? You have forcefully expired. So you can inspire the inspiratory reserve volume. You will inspire the tidal volume. You will also inspire the expiratory reserve volume. So the vital capacity is sum of all the three: tidal volume plus expiratory reserve volume plus inspiratory reserve volume. So option A, expiratory reserve volume, tidal volume, and inspiratory reserve volume. So for C, option 1 is there. So our correct option is option 3. Okay. Here, we can read also inspiratory capacity, expiratory capacity, functional residual capacity, and vital capacity from here. Do not get confused. It is really, really easy if you understand the terms, if you understand what volumes are, if you understand what is expiratory capacity, functional residual volume, and all. It is very easy to solve these type of questions. Okay. Next. Next is from evolution. So in this paper, if you see, we have got many questions from evolution. This is one from Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium. So what we understand about Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium, see, Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium means if there is no much bigger change has brought up in the species or population, then over the generation, the the probability or the proportion of the allele frequency remains same, right? It means the population or the species are in equilibrium with each other, right? So that is what is Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium. Let's see what are the factors which will not affect, which will affect the Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium. So then from there we can see there are 5 factors given in NCERT which can affect the Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium. Gene migration. So it means gene migration is going to affect. This cannot be the answer. Gene flow. Genetic drift. This cannot be the answer. Mutation. Genetic recombination. So if you read only 3 lines or 2 lines of Hardy equilibrium, you will know that our correct answer is option 2. And if we have constant gene pool, it means there is no big change that has been brought in the species or the population. It means it will not affect the Hardy equilibrium. It will help in maintaining the Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium. Okay. So this is very easy, but an important question. Fine. Next. Okay. So we are given with the several stages of human evolution, and we have to find out the correct sequence. So this is these are the paragraphs taken from the evolution chapter. Let's read about it. So some of the bones, this creature was called the first human light bearing being, the hominid, and called Homo habilis. Means the first one was Homo habilis. Fine. After Homo habilis, they found the fossils Homo erectus. So second is Homo erectus. Third, the Neanderthal man means Homo neanderthalis. Right? And the fourth one is Homo sapiens. And we also know that Homo sapiens sapien, that is the present genus species, you can say. So Homo sapiens has to be at the end. Means option B has to be the end. But from where it is starting? It is starting from Homo habilis, which means option 2 is the correct option. Clear? Easy? Fine. Next, this question comes from circulatory system, body fluids and circulatory pathways. So in this, you have to tell the stages of pathway of conduction of an action potential through an heart. Okay. So what is the route? So see, we should know that action potential is generated by the SA node. Means SA node is the one which is going to generate the action potential. Means the sequence has to start from E. It means either option 2 or option 3. We should also know that the Purkinje fibers are the ones that are the end points of it. Okay. So it means if we know the starting and the end, we can tell our options 3 is the correct option. But let's give a read from NCERT. SA node. So another mass of this tissue is seen on the left corner of the right atrium close to the atrioventricular septum called as atrioventricular node. A bundle of nodal fibers, atrioventricular bundle, means SA node, then AV node, then AV bundle. And then continues from the AV node, which passes through the atrioventricular septa to emerge on the top of interventricular septum and immediately divides into right and left bundle. These branches are given to the minute fibers called Purkinje fibers. So therefore bundle, branches, and then Purkinje fibers. Okay. So if you see, that is also the sequence of our answer. E, SA node, C, AV node, A, AV bundle, then D, bundle branches, and then B, Purkinje fibers. See, I'm not telling you guys that you need not to read the whole question, you need not to read the whole option and all, but I'm saying to confirm your answer, you can also see all these things. These things helps you in confirming the answer, or at least giving you the confidence that yes, you know the answer, but you can verify by seeing all the options. Clear? Next option. Which of the following factors are favorable for the formation of oxyhemoglobin? Now, what is oxyhemoglobin? Binding of oxygen with hemoglobin is oxyhemoglobin. Where does it happen? It happens in alveoli. In alveoli, CO2 has to be removed from the hemoglobin, and then oxygen has to bind with the hemoglobin to form oxyhemoglobin. Now, what are the conditions required? So if you see this curve, this is called as percentage saturation hemoglobin with oxygen. Like how much percentage of hemoglobin is saturated with oxygen is given by this curve. So let's see what are the requirements. So this curve is called as oxygen dissociation curve and is highly useful in studying the effect of factors like partial pressure of CO2, hydrogen ion concentration, etc. on binding of O2 with hemoglobin. In the alveoli where there is high PO2. So obviously if it's alveoli, then fresh air is available, means partial pressure of oxygen will be high. And if partial pressure of oxygen is high, means partial pressure of CO2 is low, at least in the alveolar region. Not in the region, the blood that is coming to the alveoli, but inside the alveoli, the partial pressure of O2 should be high and partial pressure of CO2 is low. Okay. And H positive concentration is also less and lower temperature. So these four factors helps in binding of oxygen with the hemoglobin, leading to the formation of oxyhemoglobin oxyhemoglobin in alveoli. So let's see high PO2 or low CO2. So low CO2, high H positive, no. Low CO2, high temperature, no. High PO2, high CO2, no. High PO2 and less H positive ion concentration. This is our correct option, which is option number 4. Fine. You know, high PO2 and high CO2 is not possible in one situation, right? Low PaCO2 is correct, but then higher temperature is not the option. Low PaCO2 is correct, but high H positive is also not the option. So if you want to understand the role of H positive, what happened? H2O plus CO2 form H2CO3, right? Which breaks down to form HCO3 negative plus H positive. So means if there is high concentration of CO2, there will be high concentration of H positive as well. But we have the low PCO2 means the H positive concentration will also be low. Clear? Fine. Let's go to the next question. This question is taken from the applications of biotechnology. Okay. And then this question also has all the answers coming from the NCRT. Now, you might have heard about the tri gene. The tri gene is generally related to the Bacillus 3, like, this is used in the cotton, right? And this gene, toxin is coded by the gene tri gene. So the BT toxin are insect specific group, and these toxin is coded by the tri gene. So there are a number of them. For example, the proteins encoded by the genes tri1AC and tri2AB is for the cotton bollworms. Means tri1 AC is for cotton bollworm, means for C we have 1. Now there are only two options, option 1 and 2, where C is 1. Then tri1AB controls the corn borer. Means for B, it's option 4. Fine. Now, alpha-1 antitrypsin. Alpha-1 antitrypsin, this alpha-1 antitrypsin is used in the treatment of emphysema. Means for A, option 3 is correct. It means our option 1 is the correct answer for this question. You do not have to even look for the fourth option, right? If you know all these 3 options, you can easily do the question that is given here. Clear? Next question. This is taken from the human reproduction chapter, first chapter in zoology for grade 12. Fine. This is an assertion reason question. Let's read the assertion. FSH acts upon the ovarian follicles in female and Leydig cells in male. So, and the reason given is growing ovarian follicles secrete estrogen in female, and while interstitial cells secrete androgens in male human beings, right? So let's see what happens. There are two hormones, LH and FSH, which is released by the anterior lobe of pituitary. So LH acts on Leydig cells, okay, and stimulate the synthesis of secretion of androgens, fine. Whereas FSH acts on Sertoli cell. So here it is given it acts in the Leydig cell in male, that is wrong. Means assertion is wrong. So this cannot be our answer. This cannot be our answer. This cannot be our answer. Our answer is option 2, which is assertion is false, but reason is true. Okay. Is it clear? Next, this question is also from biotechnology, where we are going to talk about the cloning vector. Now, this is given the following diagrams showing restriction sites on E. coli vector PBR 322. You have to tell what is the role of X and Y. What is X? If you see, this diagram is exactly given in NCERT, this one. So this is ORI. ORI means origin of replication. This is a sequence from where replication starts, and any piece of DNA, when linked to this sequence, can be made to replicate within the host cells. This sequence is also responsible for controlling the copy number of the linked DNA. It means the X is the ORI. So responsible for the copy number of linked DNA. Means option 4 is correct. And what is Y? If you see here, Y, which is ROP, ROP codes for the proteins involved in the replication of the plasmid. Okay. So ROP, Y is ROP, which is a protein required for the replication of plasmid, which confirms our option 4 is correct. Clear? Next question. This question is based on the drugs that are taken from certain plants and also what type of things they can treat. Fine. So first is cocaine. So in the NCERT, quota alkaloid or cocaine is obtained from cocoa plant Erythroxylum cocoa. Now to make it confusing, they just gave the erythroxylum. Means for A, option 3 is correct, erythroxylum. Fine. Next is morphine. Morphine is very selective, effective sedative and painkiller and useful patients in undergo surgery. Several plants, fruits, and seeds having hallucinogenic properties over the years. So from where the morphine is obtained, like effective sedative in surgery. So for morphine means option B. Option C for morphine is 1. For C, 1. There are 2 options. For A, 3. So it means our option 2 is correct. Right? Otherwise, also we have where the other things are also taken, right? From where the heroin is taken and the other things as well. But then if you know all these 2 options also, you can easily solve the question. Clear? Next is, this question is taken from Animal Kingdom, where they are talking about the coelom. Now, what is coelom? During the embryonic development, there are 3 layers, right? Ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm. You can read here also presence or absence of a cavity. So what happens? So this layer has to be present between the ectoderm and the endoderm, and it has to be lined with the mesoderm. Then it is called as coelom, right? So if it is present, then it is called as coelomate. If it is absent, it's called as acoelomate. But there is also a condition called as pseudocoelom, in which the mesoderm does not line the cavity, but they are present in the small pouches. That is called as pseudocoelomate. So let's read this thing. The body cavity which is lined by mesoderm is called coelom. Animals possessing coelom are coelomates. Example, annelids. So annelids are true coelomates. This is true. Mollusk, not given. Arthropods, echinoderms, hemichordates, and chordates. No option given. Then in some animals, the body cavity is not lined by the mesoderm. Instead, the mesoderm is present as a scattered pouches, which are called as pseudocoelomates, right? Example is SK helminths. SK helminths, acoelomates, no. The animals in which the body cavity is absent, example, platyhelminths. So platyhelminths also not pseudocoelomates. And poriferans. Poriferans do not have the level of tissue organization. They have cell level of organization. Therefore, they are acoelomates, right? So only option A is correct. It means our option 4 is correct. Yeah. Next, this question is from excretory system. There are 2 statements and we have to tell if both the statements are correct or incorrect. In the nephron, the descending limb of loop F. Henle is impermeable to water and permeable to electrolytes. Let's read. So loop of Henle, the descending limb of loop of Henle is permeable to water while almost impermeable to electrolytes. Means this is opposite. Actually, it is for the ascending loop, which the statement that is given. Now, the proximal convoluted tubule is lined by simple brush border epithelium and increases the surface area of reabsorption. That is true. That's why statement 1 is incorrect and statement 2 is false. Our correct option is option 2. Clear? Next, this is taken from the locomotion and movement. Fine. There are different types of joints that are given here. Basically, in NCERT, the joints are classified into 3 categories: fibrous joint, cartilaginous joints, and synovial joints. So, fibrous joints, they do not allow any type of movement. Okay, they are as such. So, the fibrous joints are present in our skull. So, skull do not allow any type of movement. So, for option A is 3. If you know this, you know the answer, but let's see the other things as well. So cartilaginous joint. What are cartilaginous joint? The bone involved in a joint together with the help of cartilage. The joint between the adjacent vertebra in the vertebral column is in this pattern, and it permits limited movement. So it is present in adjacent vertebral column and it allows limited movement. So for B, it's 1. Hinge and ball and socket joints, these are synovial joints. There are basically different types of synovial joint: ball and socket, hinge joint, pivot joint, saddle joint, and all of that. Okay, so let's see what are these. So we have ball and socket joint between humerus and pectoral girdle. Yeah, which allows the rotational movement. Means for option D, 2 is correct, and the hinge joint is a knee joint, helps in locomotion. So for C, 4th is correct. Means our option 2 is correct answer of the given question. Clear? Next is very easy question. Very easy question. This is from the reproductive health, in which you are going to tell which is not the natural or traditional contraceptive method. So there are only 3 natural contraceptive methods that are mentioned in NCERT: lactational amenorrhea, coitus interruptus, and periodic abstinence. What is lactation amenorrhea? When after pregnancy till the mother is lactating 6 to 9 months, there are no menstrual cycle, so that helps in contraception. Then coitus interruptus means removing of the penis before the ejaculation is coitus interruptus. If you're removing the penis before ejaculation, means ejaculation is not taking place in vagina, it means the sperms are not reaching to the female reproductive tract. This is another method of contraception, natural method. Periodic abstinence. Periodic abstinence means there are certain days in the periodic menstrual cycle where the chances of fertilization or implantation is really less. So that is called as periodic abstinence. In these 3 methods, these are natural, traditional methods. There is no use of any other thing, no external agent or anything is used, and it can be done easily with itself. So these 3 are the natural methods or the traditional methods. Walls are the type of barriers that we use. If you see here, walls are also barriers. So this comes under barrier method. Clear? Very easy question, easily done. Now, next question is about, again, from animal kingdom. So we have to tell which one belongs to what. Now we are given with the mollusca, ctenophora, osteocytes, and hemipodata. Let's start with class osteocytes. Osteocytes, it comes under what? It comes under chordates, right? So they have operculum. The skin is covered with the cycloid and tenoid scales. Air bladder is present, which regulates the buoyancy. So means air bladder is the characteristic feature of osteocytes. Means air bladder, D, option 3. For D, it's 3. If you know this, means option 1 and 4 are the correct could be the correct options, right? Next is for hemipoddates. Hemipoddates, separate phylum. Hemipoddates have a rudimentary structure called as stomatode, a structure similar to notochord. Hemipoddates are not the part of chordates because they do not have notochord, but they have a rudimentary structure called as stomatode, which is similar in structure with the notochord. So stomatode is an option for hemipoddates. Means for C, option 4 is there. So that means our correct option is option 3, but we can further see. So for mollusca, we have the structure, a rasping organ for feeding is radula. Means for Redula, it's mollusca. For option B, it's 1. And Pleurobratia is an example of coelenterate, ctenophora. That's why for A, it's option 2, which means it clarifies that our option 4 is correct. Clear? Yes. Next question. Next question. This question is taken from the cell where you do the different cell organelles, and then these structures are given. So we should know at least the satellite. Satellite, when we do the cell cycle and cell division, we also taught about the structure of chromosome. Means these are the secondary construction which are available. Primary construction is centromere, right? Secondary construction which is present in certain chromosome, that is called as satellite. So you can read it from here also. Yeah. Sometimes a few chromosome has non-staining secondary constructions at a constant location. This gives them the appearance of a small fragment called the satellite. Okay. So means for D, option 3 is there. Means our available options is option 1 and 2. Fine. Next, crista. Crista is the past part of mitochondria. There it is. Yeah, here. The inner membrane forms a number of infoldings called as crista or cristae, which is part of mitochondria. Means option C, we have 4, right? Centrosome. Now, centrosome or centriole, let's see, containing 2 cylindrical structures called centrioles. The perpendicular material, both centrioles have a particularly each other in like a cart wheel. So for option B, we have 1. And the exoneme structure is present in cilia and flagella. So option A is 2. Means if we check all these, we have B1. So it means option 2 is the correct option for the given question. Clear? See, if you see like 2 to 3 paragraphs, if you read from NCERT, you know the answer. Okay. Next question is taken from biotechnology processes, right? We are going to talk about bioreactors. So basically, bioreactors, there are different types: lab scale, pilot scale, and the large scale bioreactors, right? So these bioreactors are for the large amount of bacterial culture. Small volumes of culture cannot yield appreciable quantities of product. To produce a large quantities, the development of bioreactors, where large volumes of culture can be processed, was required. Means this statement is incorrect. They are not used for small scale bacterial cultures, but they are used for large quantities of the culture. Have agitator system, an oxygen delivery system, and a form control system. That is true. If you read, thus bioreactors can use which raw materials are biologically converted to the products. A bioreactor provides the optimal conditions for achieving the product by providing optimal growth conditions, means temperature, pH, substrate, vitamins, and oxygen. The most common used bioreactors are stirring type of bioreactors. Means all the 3 are the correct statement. Only the statement 1 is incorrect. That's why our question, the correct answer is option 1, which is the incorrect statement that they are used for the small scale bacterial cultures. They are actually used for the large volume of the culture. Yeah. Next, the question is again taken from cell cycle. This is the phases of meiosis 1, prophase 1, which is very unique in the cell cycle and cell division, right? This is the stage in which the recombination takes place. So do not forget the sequence. It's the leptoteny stage. Then zygoteny. Then pachyteny. Then diploteny. And then diakinesis. So in leptoteny stage, what happens? The chromosomes that were not condensed will get fully condensed in the leptoteny stage, right? So for leptoteny stage, chromosomes look like twin threads, right? For D, option 3 is there. Means option 1 and option 4 are the options that could be correct for the given question. Next is zygoteny. In zygoteny stage, the synaptonemal complex starts to be formed. What is synaptonemal complex? That keeps the non-homologous chromosome in attachment with each other so that the exchange of genetic material can take place. So for zygoteny stage means for C, option A is 1 is correct. If you know this, you know that option 1 is the correct answer, but let's see other. In pachyteny, the crossover takes place, right? So appearance of recombination nodules. Fine. So the recombination nodules is formed, and in dikinesis, when the termination of the recombination nodules takes place by the formation of chiasmata, then that is the dikinesis or last stage of prophase 1 of meiosis 1, completion of terminalization of chiasmata. So this proves our options are all the match is correct in the option 1. Clear? This is the stages that are given in NCERT. All the stages have written, like for example, dikinesis, terminalization of chiasmata, diplotiny stage. They have not asked for Pachytiny, recombination nodules, for zygotomy stage, synaptonymal complex, for leptospheny stage, the compaction of chromosome, right? So these are the 4 stages that they have asked in the question, and each and every answer is from NCERT. Okay. Next question. Next question is for the infections. Now we know the Vidal test, the most common test is for typhoid. Okay. So C option is 2. There are 2 options, right? Then allergy. Allergy is mostly due to the dust particles, right? There are other allergies also, but dust particles are the most common types of allergy. So dust mites means data 4. So option 1 and 4 are the correct options. Now common cold is caused by the rhinoviruses, means eta 3, and hemozoin is plasmodium, means beta 1. So the correct option is option 1 of the given question. Right? We can also read it from here. The Vidal test is the typhoid fever can be confirmed by the Vidal test, right? And the common cold is caused by the rhinoviruses, right? So these 2 options are correct. Allergy, we know, though it's given here, but allergy we know it's due to dust mites, and hemozoin is present in the Plasmodium protozoa. Okay, hemozoin. See, this is the life cycle of Plasmodium vivax. So in that, hemozoin is the toxic substance which is released due to the rupture which is associated with the rupture of RBCs. Okay, so this is Plasmodium. Clear? The next question we are going to do is again assertion reason based. So assertion says breastfeeding during the initial period of infant growth is recommended by doctors for bringing up the healthy baby. True. That initial few days the milk is called as colostrum, and colostrum contains so many things that are required for the kid. For development of the kid immune system, they have so many antibodies present in it. So colostrum contains several antibodies absolutely essential for the development of resistance in the newborn baby. So according to me, the assertion and reason both are correct, and the reason is the correct reason for assertion. Let's see what NCERT says. In mammary glands, a female undergo differentiation during pregnancy and start producing milk towards the end of the pregnancy by the process called as lactation. This helps the mother in feeding the newborn baby. The milk produced during the initial few days of lactation is called as colostrum, which contains several antibodies, absolutely essential to develop resistance for the newborn babies. So breastfeeding during the initial period of infant growth is recommended by doctors for bringing up a healthy baby. It means both assertion reason are correct, and reason is the correct explanation of the assertion. It means option 3 is the correct answer here. Clear? Let's go to the next question. This question is taken from Animal Kingdom actually. I know you can say this is not about the classification. This is just matching the normal or the, scientific name together. So if you see the examples, petromyzone, lamprey, myxine means headfish. So myxine is headfish means B option 1. So 1, 3, and 4 could be the correct answers, right? Then exocetus is a flying fish. Flying fish means theta 4 option. So option A is also incorrect. Then what is it? Next is myxine, right? Pterophyllum is angelfish. Means option A is 3. Means our correct option is option 4. Right? So basically, these are just the common names that you have to match with the names that are given to them. So these examples are taken from the NCERT only, Animal Kingdom, Chordates Animal Kingdom. Okay. Next is TI plasmid of Enterobacterium tumefaciens. This topic is taken from the biotechnology application part. TI stands for tumor-inducing plasmid of Enterobacterium tumefaciens, right? So The tumor inducing plasmid is the correct answer. Temperature independent, incorrect. Tumor inhibiting, incorrect. And tumor independent is also incorrect option. Tumor inducing plasmid is the correct option that is given in NCERT. The very first line about the TI plasmid of Agrobacterium tumefaciens. Clear? Next, again, a question from NCERT, that is from chapter Human Reproduction. Which of the component is not the part of fallopian tube? Now we know till here is the fallopian tube. The part that is in, connection or in vicinity to the ovary is infundibulum, which has fimbriae. So this is not the answer. Then ampulla isthmus junction is the where fertilization takes place. So ampulla and isthmus are also not the answer. Uterine fundus. The name itself says the funded part of uterus, which is not the component of fallopian tube. So correct option is option 3. The very easy question, only even if you just know this diagram, or if you know what is the difference between uterus and the fallopian tube, you can easily answer this type of question. Yeah. So infundibulum, ampulla, and isthmus are the answers, are the parts of the fallopian tube, and uterine fundus is not. That's why option 3 is the correct answer. Clear? Next question. This question is based on the what is it called? Mutation, right? So if there is change in the number of chromosome, these are the two diseases that takes place: Down syndrome and Klippel syndrome. Means Down syndrome is caused in the presence of additional copy trisomy of chromosome number 21. Means Down syndrome. For A, 3 is the correct answer. If you know this, you know the option. These two diseases are due to the increase or decrease in the number of chromosome copy, whereas alpha thalassemia and beta thalassemia is due to the genetic disorder. Like these are the chromosome linked genetic disorder. Let's see. Klippel syndrome is due to the presence of additional copy of X chromosome. Means 47 total, which is XXY. Means for D, option 2. Now, this is also thalassemia that is taken from NCERT. If you see, the alpha thalassemia, production of alpha globin chain is affected, while in beta thalassemia, production of beta globin chain is affected. Means, where is these chromosome presence? The chromosome are present on chromosome number 11 and 16, right? So this way you can easily guess the correct answer to the given question. Fine. Next is, this is also taken from animal kingdom, where you can directly give the answer from the difference between the chordates and the non-chordates. So notochord is present in non-chordates, where it is given notochord is absent. So this is not the correct statement. Central nervous system is dorsal. This is the correct statement. Pharynx perforated by gill slits. This is the correct statement. Heart is ventral. Incorrect statement. A post-anal tail is present. Incorrect statement. It means option A and C are the correct statements. So answer is option number 3, right? So directly from this comparison, you can easily tell the answer. This comparison is also taken from NCERT. Oh, once again, no. These are the chordates trait. Sorry. Once again, let's do it again. So for non-chordates, notochord is absent. So this is the correct statement. Central nervous system is ventral. Incorrect statement. Gill slits are absent. Incorrect statement. Heart is dorsal. Correct statement. Post-anal tail is absent. Correct statement. Means B, D, and E are the correct statements for non-chordate. Sorry, I didn't see the non-chordate part. So the option 1 is the correct answer for this one. If they would have asked for the chordates, then A and C would be the correct answer. Yeah. Next question is the eras that are given and the development. So we know, let's list down the eras. For example, we know first lower invertebrates were there, right? Then it would be fish and amphibian, then birds and reptiles, and then mammals. So this is the sequence for the evolution, right? Same way the sequence for the eras is Proterozoic era, Paleozoic era, Mesozoic era, and Cenozoic era. So if you compare both of them, you will get the final answer. So the answer is for lower invertebrates, it's Proterozoic. Means for B, it should be 1, right? Then fish and amphibians, Paleozoic. Means for D, it should be 2. So option C, second, is the correct answer for the given question, right? Next is, this question is taken again from the nervous system. The cerebral hemispheres are connected by a nerve tract known as corpus callosum. That is true. You can read it. The hemispheres are connected by a tract of nerve fibers called as corpus callosum. Statement true is correct. The brain stem consists of medulla oblongata, pons, and cerebrum. No. So the brain stem forms the connection. The brain stem, the major three regions of brain stem is midbrain, pons, and medulla oblongata. Cerebrum is the part of forebrain. Right? So cerebrum is not the answer. The brain stem consists of midbrain, medulla oblongata, and pons. So the statement 2 is incorrect. Statement 1 is correct. So the correct answer is option 1 of the given question. Yep. Next, this question again is from the reproductive system. Always remember, hypothalamus secretes a hormone GnRH, gonadotropin releasing hormone, which is going to affect the anterior lobe of pituitary, which will release only two hormones, LH and FSH. LH means luteinizing hormone. FSH is follicle stimulating hormone. So, and LH is going to affect the Leydig cells. If you read here, gonadotropin releasing hormone, the increased level of GnRH acts on anterior pituitary gland and stimulates the secretion of two gonadotropins, which is luteinizing hormone LH and follicle stimulating hormone FSH. LH acts on Leydig cells and stimulates the synthesis of secretion of androgens. Androgens turn stimulate the process of spermatogenesis, means formation of sperm. So this part of the flowchart is correct. Now FSH means the other part is FSH. So option A means A here is FSH. FSH acts on Sertoli cells. So C is Sertoli cells. And stimulates secretion of some factors which helps in the process of spermiogenesis. Spermiogenesis means development of the sperm from spermatids to spermatozoa. Right? So our correct option is FSH. So means A and 3 are the correct. B should be Leydig cells. So A is incorrect. Our correct option is option third, where FSH, Leydig cells, Sertoli cells, and spermiogenesis are the correct options that are given. Clear? Next question. This is taken from molecular basis of inheritance. RNA polymerase 3. RNA polymerase 3 is responsible for the transcription of tRNA, snRNA. Means for A, option 4 is there. Now the termination factor is Rho factor. So means transformation of transcription is by the Rho factor. For B, it has to be 3 option. Then splicing of the chromosome, the splicing of the introns and the extrons will be done for the SNR RNPs, and the Tata bots is a promoter. So basically for C, 1, and for 4, it's 2. So the correct option is option 2. If you know the correct only RNA polymerase 3 also, you can answer this type of question. Yeah. Next question. This is taken from the hormonal part, exophthalmic goiter. Goiter is mainly because of the thyroid gland, right? So if you see, there are two options for thyroid gland, hyposecretion and hypersecretion. Exophthalmic goiter is hyperthyroidism, means hypersecretion of thyroid gland and protrusion of eyeballs. Means the option C for A, third option is correct. Then it's acromegaly. Acromegaly. It is due to the excess secretion of growth hormone. Means excess secretion of growth hormone means option 4. For B, it's option 4. So if you know this, let's see others. Cushing syndrome or creatinism. Creatinism is where, once again, C. So baby leading to the stunt growth, mental retardation. This is because of which this is hyposecretion of thyroid, hypothyroidism means creatinism. D is hyposecretion, means option 2. So if you know this, you know that the second option is the correct answer for the given question. Everything is taken from NCERT again. Fine. Next question is about the glandular epithelium. So this chunk is taken from NCERT, where the glandular epithelium means any epithelium that is able to secrete the secretions. Means it can be any fluid, any enzyme, any hormone, then it becomes a glandular epithelium, right? So it is of two types, unicellular means where the single cell become the epithelium, glandular. For example, droplet cells of alimentary canal, and multicellular consisting of cluster of cells like salivary gland. On the method of pouring their secretions, the glands are of two types, exocrine and endocrine, right? So unicellular, let's see, unicellular glandular epithelium means goblet cells. A is 3. If you know this, you know answer A is correct, but let's see others. So endocrine glandular epithelium means exocrine glands means which secrete mucus, saliva, the fluids, right? Enzymes. That is exocrine. So exocrine is salivary glands. It is multicellular also and exocrine also. So for option C, it's 1. And endocrine are the ones that secrete hormones. So pancreas is a heterocrine gland actually, which secrete both exocrine and endocrine. But here for endocrine, we can mark the pancreas. For D, option 2. And for compound epithelium, it's the moist surface of buccal cavity. Dry skin, the moist surface of buccal cavity, pharynx, and inner lining. See, this is already given here. So for multicellular glandular, no, compound epithelium, it's 4. So the correct sequence is B4, C1, D2, and A3. Means option 1 is the correct answer here. Here, next question is also taken from one single paragraph. The bone marrow is the main lymphoid organ where all the blood cells, including lymphocytes, are produced. Exact line of NCRT means statement 1 is correct. Now, if you go below, both bone marrow and thymus provide microenvironments for the development and maturation of T lymphocytes, which is another the statement of NCRT. So both the statements are correct. It means our correct option is option 3. Both statement 1 and statement 2 are correct. Yeah. Next is, this is about cockroach, the structure of cockroach. So if you see, there is one paragraph that is given about the anatomy of the cockroach and the digestive system. So the alimentary canal consists of 3 regions, foregut, midgut, and hindgut. The mouth opens into short tubular pharynx leading to a narrow tubular passage called esophagus. Fine. This in turn opens into a satellite structure called crop for the storing of food. Means crop do storing. And then crop lead to gizzard. Gizzard, it helps in which is made up of outer layer of thick circular muscles and inner thick cuticle, forming 6 highest titanious plate called teeth. Means gizzard helps in grinding. Okay. So let's see here. Structure used for storing of food is crop. For A, it's 4th. Then structure used for grinding of food, gizzard. For D, it's 1. So if you know this, you know the answer. Rings of A to C blood of blind tubes of injection. So if you see, Malpighian tubes are 100 to 150, right? And ring of 6 to 8 tubes called hepatic or gastric setae. Means gastric setae is B2 and C is 3. So our correct option is this one, option 3. Okay. Next question. This is again from the excretory system. It talks about the loop of Henle. So correct statement, loop of Henle or juxtamedullary nephron runs deep in medulla. Now there are 2 regions, cortex and medulla. So the cortex region is the one which is outside and the medulla region is the inner type. Okay, let's read this. Malpighian tubules, PCT, DCT are stimulated cortical region of the kidney, whereas the loop of Henle dips into the medulla. Means juxtamedullary nephrons. In majority of nephrons, the loop of Henle is too short and extend only little into medulla. Such nephrons are called as cortical nephrons. In some nephrons, loop of Henle is very run and deep inside the medulla. So this is correct. Juxtamedullary nephron, they runs deep inside the medulla. So this already gives us the answer of option 1. Now this is the ECG, P wave, QRS wave, T wave, and all that, which is exactly taken from NCRT. So P wave represents the electrical excitation or depolarization of atria. So means for P, 3rd is answer, right? For QRS complex represent depolarization of ventricles. Means for B, who is the option? Now T wave represents repolarization of ventricles. So C, fourth. And TP dap is heart muscles are electrically silent. At the end of T wave marks the end of systole. Means the TP dap is heart muscles are electrically silent. Means this is the correct option. Clear? Next question is ABO blood grouping, which is very easy. Means the blood of the father is B positive. Means it can be IB, or it can be IBIO, the father, right? Mother is A positive, means IA, or it can be I not. The child is O positive, means for O positive, it has to be these two genotypes. Why? Because O is recessive in nature. One allele from dad and one allele from mother should come to get the offspring of O positive. Means IB, IAI, and II. So A is correct. This is not correct. AB is not possible here. This is also not possible. So only option A is correct. So option 3 is correct answer to the given question. Fine. Next, this is taken up again about from the evolution. Gauss's competitive exclusion principle states that two closely related species competing for different resources cannot exist indefinitely. This is given in the statement of NCERT. Competitive states that the two closely cannot be coexistly indefinitely, and comparatively inferior one will be eliminated eventually. Means this is correct. But this is only true if the limiting resources are present. So means this is true, but it is otherwise not true and is not supported. Means statement 1 is not correct, but statement 2 is correct. So therefore, the answer is option 2, right? Next question, the second last question, it is from enzymes. This is very easy where you know the steps. See, first enzyme has to bind with substrate, right? So the enzyme and substrate complex, substrate binding to the active site, right? It will form an enzyme substrate complex. The bonds will be broken. The broken bonds will form the product, and then product is released and enzyme is available for the next substrate, right? This should be the flow. So the flow should be E, enzyme binding to the active site, formation of this EA, then chemical bonds of substrate broken, D, then release of product, C, and B. So this is the correct answer, and option 3 is the correct answer that is given here. Clear? The last question is again statement based, and which is again taken just from the 2 lines of NCERT. Statement A says mitochondria and chloroplast are double membrane cell organisms. We know, right? For mitochondria, there are infolds. For chloroplast, it is double membrane like this. Now, the inner membrane of mitochondria is relatively less permeable as compared to chloroplast. Let's see. Like mitochondria, the chloroplast are double membrane bound. Of the two, the inner chloroplast membrane is relatively less permeable. It means this statement is incorrect because the chloroplast inner membrane is relatively less permeable, not the mitochondria. So statement 1 is correct, but the statement 2 is incorrect. It means option 1 is the correct answer. So guys, these were the 50 questions from zoology. And I think each and every question has been marked and taken from NCERT. And we have dealt with each and every question in very much detail. Now, the last part is the analysis where it tells how many questions are come from each chapter and what are the question numbers according to the paper that I have taken. So basically, Animal Kingdom got the maximum number of questions, then structural organization and circulation. And then rest of the chapters had either 1 or 2 questions. This is from grade 11. Now for grade 12, there are 3 chapters from where we got the 5 questions: human reproduction, evolution, human health and disease. So these are the list of the questions that can be tracked from these chapters. So these are the things. I hope it really helped you to understand whatever we have discussed, right? And hope this will really help you to understand that NCERT is the one which is the major role that plays. I'm not saying you need not to understand the concepts. To understand NCERT, you need to understand the concepts in detail. But if you are very much thorough about the lines of NCERT, you are really good to go for the paper. Thank you so much, guys. Please, if you like the video, please keep following. Please subscribe the channel, share it with your friends, and like it as well. Thank you so much. If you have any doubts, please post in the comment section. Thank you.